Hey everyone, Sari here, and welcome back to another week of Astro Season Offense matches. I've been looking forward to Claude's bonus weeks for a while now, ever since his impressive debut on my offense teams a couple of months ago. The extra stats are really useful for him, giving him a lot more room to work with when tanking hits with Fallen Star, and he ended up sweeping the entire week with a single team. Claude's base kit is extremely effective. Getting null follow-up from Fail Not lets him turn every fight into a speed check that he's almost guaranteed to win. While Fallen Star makes sure that any single hit he takes is reduced to a manageable level. The gravity effect it applies is extremely helpful as well, making Claude a master at manipulating enemy formations. Attack speed catch is a solid skill for Claude, even without support, but getting a sabotage from his allies lets him receive the full effects of the skill immediately. The rain helps push the most important combat stats in his favor, and using Blade Session for his seal gives him enough raw damage output to crack through almost any target. In the right conditions, this team can push Claude up to 117 attack and 92 speed. His team is built purely to help support him. Infantry is a fantastic enabler for Claude, allowing him to triangle attack his way through even the bulkiest opponents. The orders buff she provides her team is a lot more commonly useful though, providing them with an incredible amount of additional mobility. Duo Peony is an excellent fit for the team as well. Her cross-map combat bonuses really help Claude's killing power, and being able to provide the team with up to 2 dances in a single turn can let them navigate even the trickiest layouts. While Duo's hindrance is extremely popular, it's not usually too difficult for Claude to pick off the unit, or units, enabling it. The mythics on the team are built to support Claude as well. Plumeria gives him extra options for attack and speed bonuses, along with providing chill defense and sabotage speed, to bring any outliers into a manageable stat range. Reagan can soak bright shrines from him, and chill attack with equal buffs, while Naga acts as the team's smite bot. Now that we've gone over the team, let's get to the first match. This match is going to be an interesting way to start the week. I don't see too many infantry pulse teams, but this is actually starting to be more of them than usual. And they've got a couple of pretty solid units headlining their team with this recharged blazing special Legault with a rally up and a ruse, along with this maxed out Nino, who's not using her personal blade tome, but the extra fury bulk and stats can really help her push through something like a Brave Hector's bonfire. They've also got 2 dancers with Ninian and Nils. It's actually a pretty fun little Blazing Blade theme team here, along with Leaf and a bonus week Thrasir to round things out. This Leaf actually ends up being a lot more bulky than you might expect going into him, thanks to the close guards from Nils and Nino, and Thrasir's distant guards. This vantage is also pretty important, since if I'm reading this correctly, this is probably the real trap, and if you test it without a disarm trap, that puts Leaf into a pre-charged Ignis Vantage range, which can be very difficult to break through if you're not expecting it, and if you don't have something that can deal with that vantage. I'm going to take a couple of turns to set up and get in position here. Since they don't have a 7th unit, we don't really need to worry about any turn 1 traps here.
To be by his side.
And instead we can just focus on getting everything else done. And we'll break this.
Over here?
And Reagan can break this and move up.
What is your desire?
I should actually be able to get through this without testing any of the traps first.
Ooh,
we're just going to take one more turn to open things up a little more.
I won't lose.
And pick up this Aether Fountain while we're at it. Going to move Plumeria here, Peony over here,
Let's go.
and Claude over here.
Yes.
Then from here, we can just start off by taking down Leaf. The Brave attack means we don't even have to worry about the Ignis.
Why not?
And then we're going to Dense him,
What is your desire?
smite him onto this trap, which isn't real anyway.
Over here?
We'll flip Peony up here,
Let's
and
go.
start cleaning out the rest of this.
Ready or not, here it comes.
Well, that goes down pretty easily.
On the right foot.
And then we can Dense Claude
What's this?
once, and take out Nino. And we can use Peony's Duo skill to Dense him again.
Sure thing.
We'll move Catry up here to make sure he keeps getting his triangle attack enabled. And we're actually just going to have Claude pick off Nils here, since we should be able to tank Thrasir pretty easily thanks to Fallen Star in the next phase. Oof. That does a lot of damage. Alright, and then we'll just say go. Yep, Thrasir gets to do some damage,
In my way.
but 80% reduction, that's
Ready or
a
not,
lot of
here it
work.
comes.
Down she goes. Minion can't get in range thanks to the gravity effect,
What's this?
and from here it's just a matter of picking up the last pot
A new
before
dawn.
we Dense Claude
Let's go.
and let him close out the match. Nice and clean. It's a good way to start the week. Let's see what we get next. This match is not quite so intimidating at first glance, since it's a bit walled in, and they don't really have too much to work with without a 7th unit. But, with that said, they do have a pretty nifty infantry pulse chain here that precharges a Moonbow for Thrasir, Dragonfang for Lysithea, and a Blazing Light for Ophelia. Put together, this does actually give the team a lot of firepower to work with, and with 2 dancers it can be a little tricky, especially when one of them is a legendary Azura, to avoid getting hit by a rally from Lysithea or Ophelia into hitting something on the back line. I think I've got this planned out properly, and we should be able to handle this without too many problems. Although we will need to take a turn to clear things out on this left side.
Over
We're going
here?
to start by having Reagan break this and move over.
Let's go.
Then Claude can start working on the rest of the structures.
What's this?
We'll have him take down this broken wall and then Dense him, and the Orders buff lets him retreat all the way down here.
What is your
Then we'll just
desire?
move Naga and Catria over, and that'll be that for the turn. And here, we'll just smite Claude forward,
Let's go.
have him pick up this paw,
A new dawn.
and Dance him,
Why not?
move Plumeria over a space,
What's this?
and pull Peony back. And we should be able to get this started next turn. From here, we just need to use a few actions to get everybody up
Yes.
and into the enemy team.
To be by his side.
Sure thing.
Then we have Claude dispatch Thrasir.
On the right
We'll
foot.
dance him once.
What's this?
Have him pick up Azura. And dance him again.
Let's go.
Move him forward to take down Renea.
Hold a grudge if you must.
Close
Then
your eyes.
the area can jump over here, dance him a third time,
Sure thing.
and take down Ophelia. He is going to tank the Dragon Fang from Lysithea here, but Lysithea doesn't have a way to punch through Fallen Star's damage reduction, so he should be able to take this hit without too many problems. Yep, she moves in. Dragon Fang is very spooky, but not when it gets cut down by 80%.
Ready or not, here it comes.
And he doesn't have any problems finishing her off after that. Duma's actually being pretty polite here and chased Raken by breaking this block.
Yeah.
We're going to let him continue chasing Raken around the map
What is your
and
desire?
smite her forward. Okay, that's the real trap.
Why not?
We'll just dance Raken,
Let's go.
put Plumeria this way.
Over here?
Raken can break the Dark Shrine and move up this way.
To be
We'll
by
have
his
Catria
side.
jump here.
A new dawn.
Peony can dance Raken again,
Yeah.
and Raken can pick this up, which opens up the Aether pot for next turn. I think Duma just chases right back up this way, yep.
I won't
Which
wait.
makes it very simple to pick up the Aether pot
Wait for me. Close your eyes.
What's
and
this?
fully support Claude for a quad on Duma. Kind of unnecessary, but down he goes. Let's see what we get next. This match is a little odd, honestly. It's kind of strange to see so many defenses in a row without a 7th unit, especially in Astro season. But I do think this is actually a pretty nifty little setup. It's actually including Niffle, who I haven't seen a whole lot of yet. And I do like this build for her, even if it's not, even if it's replacing her default AR defense skill with a push. It's a little bit more consistent if you're not particularly confident that you can protect all of your structures. And this does actually make it a little tricky to engage safely onto this team thanks to the damage reduction she gives to everybody. This restore trap from Veronica is probably the thing that made it trickiest to plan this out, since while we do have safety fence to disable it on the first turn, the priest from Bernadetta guarantees that she's going to start moving around the map on the second, unless you have isolation. They've also got a single dancer with Mirabilis, and Duma. Distant counter vantage. I actually used this set on him for a while myself. It's pretty solid, I think, and can make him a bit of a pain to deal with. And the star of their show is this Altina, who's actually really impressive with the double solos and the lull and the times pulse to let her instantly reply with the twin blades. It's a pretty decent setup overall, even if it's, again, only using 6 units. I do think I've figured this out, and it's going to take quite a few shenanigans on the first turn, though, to test this trap before we move on.
Sure thing.
I'm going to start by having Claude flip Peony up a space,
It will be
which
done.
gives... oh, which
I'll
then
do
lets
it.
Plumeria dance him,
What is
before
your
Naga
desire?
smites him forward to test the trap. Okay, it is real.
My warmest
We're going to
greetings.
have Peony dance Naga.
Not
Katri
my
is going to
first
flip
choice.
Plumeria down and stay put. Naga is going to move over a space,
Let's
and
go.
Claude can jump over Peony and pull her back out of the way.
Yeah.
We may as well break a cake while we're at it. And we don't have to worry about restore on the first turn, thanks to the safety fence.
To
So
be by
from
his
here,
side.
we're going to flip Claude up a space, and have Katria stay put again.
Over here?
We're going to flip Plumeria up, and then move Raken up as well, which gives Claude a triangle attack to take down Veronica. I don't think he needed it, necessarily, but it's nice to make sure.
On the
Next,
right
we'll
foot.
have Peony dance Claude,
Sure thing.
and then he can move forward and take down Niffle. After
What is your
that, we're going
desire?
to actually need to smite Katria out of the way, since she does actually tie Plumeria on health, and we want to make sure that Plumeria is the
Close
one
your
who gets
eyes.
Peony's second dance. After
Let's go.
we disable the hindrance by quadding Altina down.
Hold a grudge if you must.
From here, we can just use the Duo skill, which refreshes Plumeria, who can refresh Claude again.
What's this?
And we'll just take down Mirabilis, and let Claude use Fallen Star to handle Bernadetta in the enemy phase. She can hit pretty hard since all of her conditions are online, and
Leave. Now.
yeah. She would hit hard without that 80%. From here, we just want to make sure we get these Aether pots before we finish the match, and I think we can actually manage that this turn. Raken can pick this one up without any problems,
What's this?
and Claude can soar over this way. And since we already found the real heavy trap, it's not a risk to dance him. He can pick up this pot.
It will be done.
We can smite Peony up here,
A new dawn.
dance him again,
What's this?
and have him finish off Duma. And down he goes. Nice and clean. Let's see what we get next. This match is going to be a pretty solid step up from what we've gotten through so far. It's a bit of a pseudo-cat line, mostly hinging on this maxed out Eliwood and this maxed out Reinhardt. The focus on speed is an interesting idea for Reinhardt. I'm not really sure it does more than a low attack res and a defense push would do for him, but it does actually give him a decent chunk of speed to attack into middling speed tanks with. They're backing all of this up with a restore trap from this Elise, and this restore, even without the upgraded version, can really make a mess of people's plans, especially if you need to spend time clearing this front area before you start the match. You've also got 3 mythics with Seiroses, Duma, and Mirabilis, and a second dancer with this Duo Peony. It took me quite a while, actually, to figure out a good approach for this, but I think I figured it out. And it's actually ends up being a much simpler setup than I was trying to make happen.
On the right foot.
We're actually not going to end up using either of the denses as denses this turn, and just use Peony to test this trap. Oh, it's the other one that's real. Interesting, I really thought this was going to be the real trap.
Not my first
It's okay.
choice.
And we're going to get her out of the way and have Katria wait in place. We're going to get to count on this safety fence just to block the initial turn 1.
Close your eyes.
Lumeria's going to break this flag.
Sure
Claude's
thing.
just going to move over this way.
Yeah.
Raken's going to break this flag and stay put.
Yes.
And Naga's going to move here. The safety fence stops any of this from moving on the first turn as long as we don't go too far forward.
Over
And
here?
from here, we can get things started. I'll start by flipping Claude forward onto this trap. Oh, this one is real. That's fine. Then we can have Raken scooch up this way. We're going
Wait for
to
me.
flip Peony up, and then move Katri over here. We're
What is
going
your
to
desire?
swipe Peony past this trap,
Let's go.
and then we can start by having Claude take down Reinhardt. The order of denses is actually very important here. The next thing we do is have Plumeria dance Claude,
What's this?
and then pick off this Duo Peony. Picking off Peony here means that we disable their Duo's hindrance, since she's the only Duo unit on their team,
My
which
warmest
lets us
greetings.
use the Duo dance first. And that's very important since we do need to get Peony back out of here.
Sure thing.
So he'll move Claude down here and take down Duma.
Ready or not, here it comes.
Which lets Peony move down here to dance him forward
Let's go.
and take out Elise. It's important to take Elise out of the picture rather than Mirabilis here, because otherwise Elise would actually restore Eliwood instead of attacking Claude, which would let Eliwood get onto one of our dancers. What should happen here is that Eliwood will just move onto the defense tile to attack, which means that Mirabilis will never actually get to dance him. So let's see if it works out. Yep, excellent. Eliwood can't actually double Claude here. He's just a little too fast for that. And Mirabilis can't get much done thanks to the fence tile. From here, we've almost made it completely out of the woods. Most of my problem at this point is just making sure we pick up these ether pots without finishing the map.
Sure thing.
We're going to start by taking Eliwood out of the picture.
Leave. Now.
My warmest
Then we can
greetings.
dance Claude. We'll move Katri over here to re-enable triangle
Let's
attack.
go.
Actually, it doesn't re-enable triangle attack. I managed to forget that Claude wasn't getting it that turn. That's okay. He still has enough damage to take Seiroses down.
Why not?
Then we'll dance Claude one more time.
I won't lose.
Regan can pick up this Dark Shrine and get out of the way of Mirabilis,
Let's go.
and we can flip Peony to safety.
It will be done.
Over
From
here?
here it's pretty easy to pick up the ether pots.
On the right foot.
Yeah.
What's this?
And let Claude close out the match. That one went really well once I figured out how to approach it. It's fun planning that out. Let's see what we get next. There was one match this week that ended badly, thanks to some poor planning on my part. They have a pretty cool setup here with 3 cavalry ranged units threatening most of the map and making it pretty difficult to approach. The maxed out Reinhardt is always a menace, and a fire sweep Lyn can be really annoying to deal with as well, on top of Leaf being the usual menace that he is. I ended up trying for the wrong approach here. While testing these traps and clearing out the opening turns went pretty well, and we got to use a safety fence to shut down any turn 1 engagement, since we were able to retreat back into our initial lane. I ended up deciding to try and clear out the units on the right side. And while it goes pretty well, Claude doesn't have any problems taking down Leaf, and after we take down the Duo Peony as well, it enables our Duo Peony to dance a second time. The problem here is that since we didn't actually attack Lyn, we didn't get to gravity their Seiros. And because of that, Claude ends up taking more hits than he's ready to handle in one turn. He can handle Lyn without too many problems, and even survive Seiros too. But Mirabilis manages to finish him off. This match is not going to be quite as interesting as the last one. It's not quite a walled-in setup, but I think this is mostly just a lift loss mitigation, throw it together sort of thing. They've got 3 mythics, 2 Thrasirs, one of which is not actually using any skills. I wonder if they just used the crystals to level her up and didn't bother with anything else. And they round out the team with 4 in-season legendaries, with Corrin, Claude, Tiki, and Hector. I'm not really expecting to have problems with this. It's mostly just about making sure I clear things out and pick my targets correctly. We're going to start by having Raken break one of the structures and test this gravity trap, which is fake, that's fine. Naga is going to test this bolt trap, which is real, that's also fine. It actually kind of helps by giving Peony Wings of Mercy. She can break this now, and we can have Catria flip Raken down, and then move out of the threat range, while Claude and Plumeria move over. We'll need to take one more turn here just to get into position. Raken will move up here, and stay put. Peony will move up here, and we'll have Claude move in, and we can get this started next turn. From here, Raken can break this catapult, which gives us a lot more access to their team. And back out to here. This isn't a problem since we're going to take care of all of their ranged this turn. Claude can just fly in and, well, take his alter ego off the table. And then we can dance him forward. And he can start taking care of the rest. He shouldn't really have any problems taking any of these units out, so... Peony can dance him. He can take out the Thrasir. The other Thrasir. And then we can give him a second dance, or third, and he can quad down Corrin. And with gravity slowing down the rest of their team, it's easy enough to just move up and get ready for the next turn. At this point, we just need to pick up the pots while keeping their team from doing anything until we're ready. Tiki's not going to be a problem for Claude. Even with a deflect missile, it's just not quite enough for her to survive that Luna. Then we can dance him forward and he can take down Hector. Which helpfully keeps Seiroses from being able to reach him this turn.
Why not?
And then we can dance him one more time,
Sure thing.
and he can pick up the first paw,
It will be done.
while Naga moves forward and opens up the way to the next.
To be by his side.
I can also have Katria jump this way. That's a real trap, but I'm not too worried about that.
Over here?
And Reagan can move over there too.
What is your
And then
desire?
Naga picks up the last pot, and Claude can close out the match. It's a pretty straightforward match this day. Let's see what we get next. This match is going to be very interesting, mostly because it's going to rely a bit on, hopefully, my knowledge of the AI. They have a very highly invested team here, starting with this recharged Glacies bonus week Thrasir, who is backed up by a front line of a maxed out Duo Alfonses, and a nearly maxed out Duo Alfonses. Given the rest of the team, it's actually kind of surprising this one's only +7. They've also got a nearly maxed out Recruit, just missing a Dragonflower there. The Candy Cane is an interesting idea, and he actually gets a one-charge Sacred Cowl, which really helps him survive any Linjas that might be trying to pick him off. They've also got a +10 Sylvia, with a very inconvenient Sudden Panic, and a pre-charged Blazing Wind +10 Seiroses. The double life and death was very interesting to see on the preview screen, and, well, kind of tipped me off to this being an infantry pulse team of some sort. And a 7th unit, more standard Seiroses with a pre-charged Glacies and Dragon Wall and Distant Counter. The two Wings of Lights are doing a lot of work for Thrasir here, and make her a really horrifying threat. With that said, we are actually planning to tank this Thrasir. If I've figured this out correctly, we should be able to do that and pick things off afterwards. Okay, so we're going to start by testing this trap and clearing out these two structures, which is important. The tactic room is really inconvenient for us. Oh, we need to smite Reagan forward onto the trap. It's real, that's okay. Doesn't actually enable Wings of Mercy for us, they've kept it pretty low level. And we'll just scooch Claude and Katria over one space each. And here, we just need to spend one more turn getting into position. We'll have Claude jump this way.
I won't.
Reagan can break this. We'll have her stay put.
A new dawn.
For dance her and move her here.
Yeah.
And then Katria can jump over here. And then we'll say go. Great. From here, we're going to flip Claude up, and then have Catria move all the way up here. Then we're going to dense her, which seems a little odd since it actually debuffs Claude thanks to the panic, but he should still be able to take down Alphonse without taking a hit. It's also important to dense to the left there since it buffs Reagan and keeps her ahead of Claude on attack, which stops him from tanking this chill attack from Berkut.
Wait for me.
Next, we're going to flip Peony down,
Why not?
dance Catria one more time, and have her move down here.
Over
Reagan can flip Claude back, and then move all the way out, while Naga moves over and gets over here to try and help bait Thrasir. From here, what I'm thinking is going to happen is that Thrasir should just move forward and get danced and attack into Claude. I don't think she's going to get distracted by these blocks, but we'll see. Yep, excellent. And she'll do quite a bit of damage here. Yep, she doesn't actually get a pre-charged special. Huh. I wonder if I miscounted. Oh well. One way or another, she's down and Alphonse can't reach us. Which means that the rest of this team is really not going to have a good time. So I actually spent a little bit trying to figure out why there aren't pre-charged specials on half their team, and managed to forget that by testing this bolt trap and finding the real one on the first turn, we actually knocked out one of the Alfonses' infantry pulses, which meant that Thrasir and both Seiroses don't actually get their specials fully charged. It's a bit unfortunate since I was hoping that I'd have Claude tank that Glacies, but it's okay. From here, we just need to start cleaning things up, and, well, now that they're in a forward position, it should be pretty easy for Claude to do. I'll start by taking down this Alphonse, which disables their Duo's hindrance.
I'll do it.
Next, we'll dance Claude forward,
What's this?
which lets Claude move up here and take down one of the Seiroses.
Leave. Now.
It will
And
be
then
done.
we'll smite Peony forward.
On the right foot.
She can dance him once,
Wait for
and
me.
we can have Catria jump up here,
What's this?
and Claude can take down the second Seiros. I'm not worried about having Catria next to Berkut. He should never attack anyone except Claude. And Sylvia can't reach us. And now that we've taken care of all of the threatening parts of the map,
What's this?
we can start by having Claude take Berkut out, which gives us access to one of the Aether pots.
Down.
Close your eyes.
We'll dance him once,
Let's go.
get him to pick up this one. Reagan can pick up the second pot, and we'll have Catria move up here, dance Claude one last time,
What's this?
and close out the match. That's a satisfying rematch. I'm glad I was able to pull that off. Let's see what we get next. This match is going to be an interesting one at the end of the week. They've got a couple of moving parts here, mostly involving a dance trap with Peony and Durabatics, who's planning to jump forward and dance this Seiros. The Quick Impulse is a cool a skill for her to have. I actually gave it to mine, even if I haven't been using it recently. And it really helps her to actually activate Iceberg in combat. Having a net for some extra rally trap fun is a great way to extend the threat range beyond what people might expect. And they're also guarding their front line with the near-safe Gustav, along with a Sephirin, who's providing his allies with guard, is providing Gustav and himself with march, and odd recovery to round things out. They've also got this Mirabilis with ground orders, and a rally trap on Thrasir. She doesn't have aerobatics though, which limits her ability to catch up and dance. This one's going to be interesting to pick apart. I think I've got it figured out for this part. And it'll take a couple of turns just to move into position and get things going. Actually, this safety fence is almost working against me here, since if it didn't activate on the first turn, we might have been able to set this up for turn 2.
Over here?
As is, we're going to have to, it's real,
A new dawn.
use Peony to get Reagan out of here after she breaks the tactic room and tests the trap.
Wait for me.
And then we'll also flip Reagan all the way out of the way, just in case. And then we'll move Claude over one space and Wylia over here, and wait things out. Yep. And since none of us are in the threat range, the turn ends immediately.
My warmest
And
greetings.
here, we just need
To be
to
by his side.
spend one more turn getting in position while we wait for Peony to dance forward,
I won't lose.
Let's go.
Why not?
and then we should be able to handle most of the threats on the map. Yep, there she goes. Nothing else happens. Well, except for restore.
Yeah.
From here, we should be able to just flip Claude forward and have Reagan back out of the way. We're
Wait
also
for
going
me.
to flip Peony up and move Catria to this spot.
Sure thing.
Claude can pick off their Peony. Which hopefully disables their hindrance.
On the right foot.
We'll give him a dance, and he should be able to just take down this Gustav thanks to triangle attack. Then we can dance him again,
Let's go.
move him over to take down Sephirin.
Ready or not, here it comes.
Why not?
Then dance him one more time
Sure thing.
to take down Thrasir. Nothing should actually be able to catch us here. The gravity effect being applied to Seiroses means that even if a net rallies her, she still only gets to move one tile. And, well, Mirabilis can't reach anybody, since she doesn't have any way to move more than one tile either.
It will be done.
Yep, there's a rally. They both move forward and don't reach us.
Sure thing.
From here, it's pretty easy to clean things up. Claude can take out Seiroses before she really gets a chance to do anything.
My
And
warmest
then we can
greetings.
dance him,
Let's go.
pick up Mirabilis,
Leave. Now.
Close your eyes.
Maria can jump up here and pick up a pot, and
Not my
we'll just have
first
Catria
choice.
move here,
Yes.
enable triangle attack,
Over here?
and get ready to close out the match next turn. Yep. Very straightforward.
What's this?
Claude can get this,
Why not?
we'll dance him,
Sure thing.
and he can take down a net. It's a nice clean match. Always good to get. this match is going to be a really fun way to close out the week. It's a rematch with Wylia, actually, who visited my defense earlier on today, actually. And she's got a pretty cool team here with a Parsave Deflect Missile Hector, and backing them up with a whole set of genealogy units. It's a very cool infantry pulse team. The Julia actually, I think, misses out on a pre-charged Glimmer, which is a bit unfortunate. But the Deirdre, on the other hand, gets a pre-charged Blazing Wind, and she hits pretty hard with that. And Seiroses gets herself a pre-charged Iceberg as well. And she's backing all of this up with a +3 Duma, and a +10 Eldigan on top. It's a very cool setup. I had to think a bit for a good way to approach this, since the Deflect Missile on Hector actually made me wonder how easy a time Claude would have taking her down. But I do think that I managed to sort this out. We're just going to need to take a couple of turns to clear out some of these structures, test a trap, and then start the fight.
Let's go.
I'm going to have Claude pick this off, which lets Reagan break this and Canto forward to test a trap. It's fake, that's alright.
I won't lose.
She can flip Peony back here.
To be by
Then we
his
can have
side.
Catria get danced over
Wait for me.
and break this and move forward.
What is your desire?
The next step is clearing out the healing tower and catapult, since we are going to want these spaces available next turn. I actually ended up making a mistake by moving Catria forward, because it means Claude doesn't have an orders buff to reach this catapult this turn. But that's okay, we still have time to work with, and oh, we can just spend this turn clearing other stuff out.
Yeah.
We'll just move Peony up here,
Let's go.
flip Plumeria this way,
Close your eyes.
It will be
and
done.
move the Naga over a space.
Wait for me.
From here, we're going to take the opportunity to pick up one of these Aether pots,
Why not?
and we'll move Catria out of the way.
Over here?
We also get Reagan to clear out this healing tower, and move back here,
On the right foot.
and dance her.
I won't
She
lose.
can move to the corner,
To be by
Catria
his
can move
side.
down here, and we're ready for the next turn. Ended up taking me an extra turn to set this up than I would have liked, but we should still be okay.
Yes.
We're going to smite Claude forward, and the triangle attack
What's
and
this?
all of these attack buffs are enough for him to take down Hector. From
I'll
here,
do
we're
it.
going to dance him to Maria,
Sure thing.
and he should have no problems taking Deirdre down. Which
Not my
lets us
first
flip
choice.
Peony forward,
My warmest greetings.
use her duo skill to dance Claude,
Let's go.
and he can take down Eldigan.
Hold a grudge if you must.
Fire weakness. And then we can dance him one more time
What's this?
and take down Seiroses. And with that corner cleared out, we should be out of range of the rest of their team this turn. We can flip Naga forward and get Regan up front as well. At this point, it's pretty straightforward to finish this, but I would like to pick up this Aether pot before we do. And I think I do have a way to get to this if this trap is fake. It's probably real, but we're going to test it with a smite. Yeah, that's real. That's okay. We'll just have to gravity Seliph and then pick the pot up next turn.
Sure thing.
It's not too hard for us to take down Duma here. And then we can dance Claude.
What's this?
And take out Julia.
Hold a grudge if you must.
Which means Seliph can't reach us this turn.
Over here?
I'm going to just move Regan this way.
Close your eyes.
Dance Naga forward,
Yes.
which should let us get to this pot one way or another next turn. Okay. He just moves down, that's alright.
Let's go.
We'll just have Claude pick it up,
Why not?
then dance him,
What's this?
and he can close out the week.
Ha!
That was a pretty fun way to end the week. It's always nice to end with a clean finish. Overall, it was a really fun week of matches. It's good to see Claude doing this well, and I'm looking forward to using him next week as well in Light Season. That one match that I messed up the planning was a little unfortunate, but I think it would have been winnable if I remembered to plan appropriately. I'm also looking forward to incorporating the new Brave Heroes into my offense teams. I don't know that I'll be doing that this coming week. I'm still trying to work out where and who to pair them with, but they should be showing up in the not-so-distant future. I do have a Discord channel, there's a link in the description if you'd like to hang out and chat, and I've also got a Patreon page there if you'd like to help support the channel. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the video, good luck with your own matches, and I'll see you next time.